Hi, I'm Mike Holly, and today I'm going to talk about how to prepare your own book production schedule. As I've said before, in order to be a writer these days, you have to run your operation as it were a real business. You can't afford to just write anymore. You have to be a businessman and an entrepreneur as well. One part of that is creating product and creating as many books as possible. So one way that I like to do to ensure that I can be as productive as possible is a book production schedule. And today I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, this is my book production schedule. I've used Excel for the purpose. I think it's the best fit for, and most people probably will have Excel. Quickly along the top you can see the date by week, and down the left hand side the book, rough approximate size, and the name if you know it. And then in this column, this is where it starts getting interesting. So this is the writing process that I follow, kind of broken down by each stage really. Each stage indicating, really the end of each stage indicating a milestone that I'm going to try and set a deadline for. That's the whole point of this book production schedule. So this is my writing process. You may have it slightly different, but I like to plan things out first quite thoroughly. So I start with a high level plan, plotting, that type of thing. I then go into the story beats, which really is a chapter by chapter breakdown at quite a detailed level, explaining exactly what the characters are doing, exactly where and how, and there's quite a lot of information that goes into that. Then I plough on with the first draft, and then the second draft, which is basically just me on my own. At that point I send it out to my gang of beta readers who read it through, have write down any notes, etc., and then I speak to them all individually and get the feedback. Then that goes into preparing my third draft. At that point I then send it out to a professional editor who looks over it, reviews it, gives me feedback. That then goes into the final draft, which is basically me bringing everything together and reading through it a number of times and making sure once and for all that I'm quite happy with it. I also, at some point during the process, need to have a cover design, and I also need to write the blurb and have that edited. And then once all of that's done, I can then publish it, and then I can move on. Okay? Now what I do is basically standard project planning. Is the weeks are along the top, and I just mark down how many weeks it will take me to do each thing, in which weeks I'm going to do it, and then I just schedule it. And you can see I've used red and blue. Red is my time, blue is someone else's time. So that's quite good. You can see that I have a week here where I can really start thinking about either some of this other stuff to do with this book later on. I can move forward if I need to, or I can start plotting and planning the second book in the series, or whatever other projects I have going on. So that's good to have 3 weeks in there. I also you can see the cover design and the blurb I've got going on at the same time as when the book's with the professional editor. That's that's making good use of the time, making sure there's no bottlenecks. You can be as efficient as possible that way. And then you'll see this big green bar that's coming right down. The reasoning for this is that my children's school holidays are in this week, so I know that pretty much I'm not going to get too much done, because apart from writing, etc., I also have childcare like most people do in the holiday time. So that week indicates to me that I'm probably not going to get too much writing done, which is quite handy because blue means it's away with the editor. So that's it looks like it's been planned beautifully. And then publishing's there. And then what I have is I have a load of books coming down this column, and then the dates will go on right through until the end of the year. And really I aim for just book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4, book 5, and it just goes on. It goes on and on and on. I think in order to be a writer and to try and make it successful as possible, you need to have as many books as possible, and there's no shortcut to that. You have to churn those books out, and so the more productive you can be and the more efficient your process can be, the better for you. Okay, so that's it. That's my book production schedule. Thank you for watching. Until next time.